again for your presence in this place. We are going to the next session of our program for the day. And just to quickly recap, we had asked Sister Dudu to leave her contact details. Can I just give them to you quickly? And thank you very much to the young lady that reminded us. Duduzile Shongwe. Duduzile Shongwe. NYDA Maponya office. The telephone number is 011 938 4101. You guys want her cell phone number? Sadly, I don't think NYDA is subsidizing that. I'll give you the telephone number again. It's 011 938 4101. I must say you're a lovely bunch of people. It's been such an honor to be in your presence today. Her email address is duduzile.shongwe@nyda.gov.za. duduzile.shongwe@nyda.gov.za. Can I go through that again? Okay, the name is Sis Duduzile Shongwe. Telephone number is 011 938 4101. And the email address is duduzile.shongwe@nyda.gov.za. Are we good? Okay, perfect. So we're getting to the next session of the day, and are we happy so far? Can I just get some feedback? Are we good? We're learning, right? Personal branding. I'm sure you had a lot of things to ponder on. Dress code, speech etiquette, how to communicate, how to present yourself. Okay, and now I would like to call Ntatetelo May. Dello May to just give us a breakdown of what's coming next. Thank you. Can we please just honor him with a round of applause? Thank you.
Thank you, Mekhanya. We're going out into our breakaways now. Two commissions we have. The reason why I split people earlier on is because this side then you'll have the entrepreneurs, SMMEs that are here, who are seated as we did demarcate. This side and the second one, and then on the my far right is basically your unemployed youth. I will be coming into the various spaces just to talk more specifically to you as SMMEs or entrepreneurs, to you as upcoming entrepreneurs. I'm sure by the end of this day you'll have had your idea, because we need that idea for tomorrow particularly. So if you are going to pitch, polish that idea even as you are listening to whatever speeches that are taking place, because the pitching is not only for people who are already in business, but also for people with ideas, so that we can be able to take it through. So I'm aware that we haven't really spoken about what the GP does. So I'm careful that at one point we'll need to tell you about what is it that the GP does, so that at least you are appraised. But I'm happy that from the NYDA presentation, you could already tell that the DFIs are talking to each other. You know, it's no longer that old system of silos. I was working for the Kula Enterprise Finance back in the day, and I remember at one point I was almost accused. Actually, I think it was my CEO. He asked me, tell me, who are you working for? You know, and I said, no, I'm just a small business developer, and that is an understanding that I have. So I can talk anything that exciting news to share with you. As I say, I will also join in and out in between these sessions until 1 o'clock. And then you also have then this side, you entrepreneurs, and there will be two presentations this side. One is a presentation that will start with Mzile Associates Consulting. So there'll be their first presentation, and thereafter you'll have a presentation from the Gauteng Treasury around the CSD, so that at least we deal with the issues. Okay, but let me say this thing which I should have said when I started. You might have issues even with the GEP as you are seated here, but we've left all those issues back at our offices for today on, because we don't want to disturb the flow over the 2 days. We can fight until, you know, but we're not going to fight here. So when a topic is presented, never take an opportunity and use it any different. Duduzile was brave. I like how she went. That's how she got even a hand after speaking, because you get distracted. You know, you are here on a particular mission, but you know there's some indaba mentality somewhere, service delivery and what. But we didn't invite you to that today, okay? So let's keep it focused, and then you'll be able to derive the best benefit out of it. Thank you. Sure. All right.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tello May. Just to note, there's a group that came late, and I think you guys would fall under the unemployed youth, correct? Okay, so that means you will then be going with, is that the perfect. Okay, so if you can check at the back, there is Auslebo. Auslebo, please raise your hand. So you guys will be following Auslebo to the other meeting room, okay, where you guys will then be briefed on your session specifically, and we'll just like to have the entrepreneurs and the startup companies remain in this auditorium. Thank you very much. We can just proceed and move forward. Thank you.
are we in business if you cannot sell? Business is all about selling. Business is all about, at the end of the day, you can go to your business, but at the end of the business, if you have not made even one sale, then you are not in business. So you must fall in love with selling. You must fall in love with supplying your services to your buyers. So we must learn to sell. We must learn to be ready to be supplying whatever we are supplying to the people that are our clients, that are our customers. So in these years, these recent years, we're always having this buzzword: enterprise development, supplier development. Big businesses, they've been there for years and years, and they've been procuring, giving business to their suppliers. They were choosing whoever they wanted to use. We have a history in South Africa. The history in South Africa is black and white. So all the business, it has been going to the whites. Businesses has been going to the whites, and then post 1994, we were making noise. Hey, we are in businesses and no one is buying from us. There is the government is not buying from us. There is the private sector is not buying from us, and the noising and the marching and all that, it was not working. So we had to get the legislation. Now we had to force the business and the government to procure to a certain sector, the sector of the people that have been disadvantaged. And then when we're talking about the people who are disadvantaged, we're talking of the blacks. And then again, within the blacks, we also have people who are women. We've got women, black women. We also have the disabled. So all those people are the designated, we call them the designated groups, because those are the people that now they have been picked up and chosen. No, these are the people that have been not used in terms of procuring to them. Therefore, let us have a piece of legislation that will make sure that the government, the private sector procures to them. So when we're looking at the enterprise and supplier development, we're looking at these three things. We've got the preferential procurement. When we're talking the word prefer, it means you are preferring someone. So it means if whatever it is that you are going to be selling, it has got, you are forced to use certain people. You are forced. The legislation is forcing them to procure to these people that I've just mentioned. Whatever you are procuring, when we're talking procuring, it's like giving business to. Whatever you are procuring, you have to choose these certain people. You're black woman, and you're disabled. And then, remember those businesses, the government, the big business, the private sector, in their database, they've got suppliers. The suppliers that they have been using all these years, the suppliers that are already there. Now the legislation continues and says, now those current suppliers that you have, you must also develop them. Because they were giving us all sorts of excuses. They said, no, yes, we have them on their database, but they cannot even meet the standards of our requirements. Therefore, now the legislation is saying, use them, develop these suppliers that are already in your database. Okay, so that's your supplier development, developing those entrepreneurs that are already sitting in the database. And then we've got the second thing, which we're calling now enterprise development. You guys, maybe you're not in the database of those businesses, So those are the new entrants now that they are going to be giving, they are going to be procuring to. So the enterprise development is working at developing, at making you ready to supply those suppliers You know, so the enterprise development, we are doing all these trainings, we're hand holding you so that you are ready to meet the needs of the suppliers. So once you're doing what the enterprise is actually doing, it is feeding into the supplier development, because remember, we've got the suppliers that are already sitting there that are being the things are being procured too, and then it's also feeding the preferential procurement, because in the preferential procurement, you are forced, you know, you no longer have the choice that I'm going to use the supplier that I've been using all these years. You are forced to look at those suppliers, to look at the blacks, to look at the women, to look at the disabled. So you feed them through the enterprise development, making those people, the new entrants, ready to supply to those suppliers. Does that make sense? Okay, so in a nutshell, that's what when we're looking at the supplier and enterprise development, we're looking at those areas where we are feeding into the preferential procurement, because now we are forced, because you have not been doing it, forced to procure to this supply. You've got your suppliers that you are using, but they also need to be developed. You've got the new entrance into your pool of suppliers that also need to be developed. Do we have any questions? And the other thing that you should also make sure that you take care of in your business, there's also a certain percentage, because you remember, some of us, when we get agitated, we feel that we are not good enough to do certain things, and then we partner with people who know how. You know, and then you'll go and partner with a white person, you go and partner with an Italian, you go and partner with a Portuguese, you go and partner with anyone, you know, and then because now you are so scared that you don't even have money, you will say, okay, I'll be a 49% and you'll be a 50, you know, you'll be a 51. You are not going to get the enterprise development, you are no longer in a preferential procurement space if you do that. Anyone who's going to benefit from all this preferential procurement, it has got to be 51% black. So you must make sure that whatever partnerships that you get yourself into, for you to benefit from the preferential procurement, to benefit from the enterprise development, you must be 51% and above black. Okay. I'll take questions. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We are, yeah, it is by law. It is by law, it is by law. So sitting here, you must know that there is a law that is covering you out there, and you have to be ready, you know, to supply to those people. Because if they don't give you, if they don't procure to you, you can go to court. You can go to court and say, I did not get this particular tender. Yes, ma'am. Pardon? Eh? You will win, you'll obviously win the case, they will pay. Once it's a court case, the court will decide, you know. But they definitely have got to, you will win the case. Because they have to comply. I like the using of the word compliance. When you have to comply, you just have no choice. Once you don't do it, you pay for it. Yes, ma'am. Kulum, yeah. It's all about, it's you. Now that's your responsibility. But now you know what, once you going there to register, you are in it. But now, who has got to go out there and find, because the information is out there. Tenders get, you know, you get tender documents, you can go and buy. You know the field that you are in. It is your responsibility to go out there and see what is available in your business. That's when I'm gonna go back to the selling. Business is about selling. When you are, you must, in the business, you must have a sales pipeline. You know, registering in the database, it's not your sales pipeline. You know, it's you being compliant. You know, so that you are able, when the tender comes out, when you fill it in, you will also get it. You will not be disqualified because you are not in the system. Yes.
Good day, everybody.
Hi.
Zobela. Oh, okay, there we go. Good day, everybody. My name is Sizo. I like what even the lady just spoke about. Unfortunately, you touched on something that I had already picked up a hand to go on to, because it is critical. And some other speakers before this, they spoke about differentiation.
Yes.
Sombisi. You are forced. I picked up on those words. Yes. Procurement. That's all nice, and it's nice with ngabantu abamnyama lapho. Majority. Yeah. Two things. Now you look at from the government institutions. You see, you come with the mentality that you are forced, that you hire me. Well, I am forced as a government, but I'm not forced to choose you. I can choose somebody else who's still black.
Yes.
Now, that's a situation. Corruption, no. So assume that everybody is operating above the board. So yes, you are forced as government to hire black, young, and all of that, blah, 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 blah. But I'm not forced to take it from you. I can take it from SIPO. Issue number one. Start with that. How do you differentiate yourself as a business, though the government is forced to hire black people, but there are other people in the supplier database? And how do you make your efforts communicate and differentiate yourself as a business to say there's other 16 companies that supply soaps or toilet paper or whatever, but my business, I want business with the department. I think that's just there. How do we do that?
Okay, that's where the enterprise development comes in as well. That's where, you know, the guy who spoke about, who was doing the branding, he was talking about, it's one of the things that are very, very important, that are key for you now as a business person, that you must know who you are, know yourself, understand your business. And most of it all comes back to you as the business person. We can do so much in terms of the compliance, the legislation, and all that. But the most part of it is done by you. You know, when you are in business, you must know that you are in a competitive environment. It's not only going to be you. The government can only secure, ring fence so much, a certain percentage for the blacks. But blacks, there are so many of you offering the same product or service. Now it's now you who have got to develop your business to a point that you are competent, that they don't take him but take you. What is your competitive advantage? You know, so you still have to work on your business so that you are competent out there, you know. Have you priced correct? You go back now to doing your basics of business. We see, what is my marketing strategy? How am I gonna stand out from this? What is your value proposition? What are you proposing? You know, why should I choose you and not him? Remember, we're all black now. We're all going to, you know, vying for that particular tender. So it's gonna be you now in your business, making sure that you've got a competitive advantage, making sure that you've priced correctly, making sure that the quality is up to standard. Okay. Yes. Yes.
When you're talking about policy that we have to have that percentage. Now, in case where I'm not talking about central supplier database.
Yes.
Let's say I'm staying wherever I'm staying, and a contractor is awarded a contract. Right?
Yes.
I saw something be the policy.
I don't know if I understood correctly. So mine is a clarity-seeking question. Yabo.
Okay.
Ukuthi, as a local contractor, can I go to that principal contractor and say, I'm entitled to 30%? Or mhlambe sihambe as local contractors or something like that?
Okay.
Can we do that?
I don't like using words like entitlement, but the tender, the regulations now, they also say when you go to a certain community, you need to check each and every tender that you're going to. If I'm going to work in Okahlamba, for instance, I'll have to use the people from Okahlamba. There is a certain percentage that will have to go to the local people. Otherwise, that tender will not even go to the second, you know, part. Remember, when they open the tender documents, firstly they check the functionality. You know, what's your experience in terms of this tender? Who are your references? You know, they check that. If they see that they phone your references, the references are there, the expertise, it's not there, you're not going to the next stage. So they will also then look at the next stage. They're looking at the local content. Are you going to be using the people locally? You know, and if you are not going to be using the people locally, and then you are not going to the next stage. But when as a person, you cannot go and say, you cannot go today, but you can only, if, for instance, you can go to a tender, to the compulsory briefing session. You sit there, you listen, and then you identify some people that you can work with, and then you go and avail yourself, you know, without saying I'm being entitled. You know, you just negotiate. We are in business. You are in business. You are looking for people that you are going to partner with. Because if you come to me with that entitlement, you might not be the person that I will choose to work to, because there's going to be those relationship issues. So you need to have a way also of availing yourself to the main contractor. And another thing that we seem to also sell ourselves short of, especially in the construction sector, because we don't have a lot of expertise there. People will just sell themselves, you know. You need 30, therefore I'm there. And then the main contractor is more than happy to have someone that is making her tick the boxes, but he was not hands-on and there involved. Once you are being a contractor, you subcontractor, make sure that you get all the skills. They must transfer the skills to you, so that now and next time you are able to do that part of it, that type of a contract. Yes. Oh, there was a hand there.
No,
oh, you started first. Okay.
Okay, Sadmura.
Okay.
Like a question is, does a panelist lay ehlala before the final decision of a tender? Does it really recommend black-owned companies like a buyer believer that we can deliver the raw material or because if you check the big contracts, you're from making of roads, it's all done by white companies. The biggest, the biggest buildings in Gauteng are done by foreign companies. Thanks.
That's why we have this law. That's why we're having the supply development and the enterprise development and the preferential procurement, because now we want to develop the blacks, so that they get the experience, and these big companies must transfer the skills to the blacks, So the panelists, when people do that, when they start with the tender, they check all those things. Are the blacks going to be part of this? Because if the blacks are not going to be part of it, that tender will not be rewarded to that person, because already that particular tender is ring-fenced for the designated groups.
I have a mic already, so too late. Thank you. I just wanted to maybe help redirect something, and I'm just supporting what you're saying. And I'm going to put it in questions. And first is going to be, where are we from here? The area, just the township, the community? Just an idea? Huh? Soweto? Orange Farm? Aye, man. Ukapeta Soweto happy. Soweto, Orange Farm, what else? Bramfisher. Huh? Huh? Papeta Soweto happy. Can do it, Salah. Okay. May I ask you a question? Is there an Orange Farm business forum? Ah, man, Arab. Eating. Are you a member? You are not. Thank you. Bram Fisher, is there a business forum? Guys, until we constitute ourselves into business forums and join in those business forums, you'll always be talking alone. And these benefits that she's talking about are regional, number one. Those businesses that exist in that area would always want to find out who's here. If you don't belong, you don't exist. That's number one. So
we always request. We always request. Even if it's your father's money, you request. So because I have my own way of doing things, and in the culture of black people, we lose business because we feel we are activists. You don't do these politicians things when you are in business. You request. You don't even wear those t-shirts when you go to any business meetings. The mindset and everything, live at home. You come with a clean t-shirt, you see, like my shirts, not branded. Not branded. Yes. You don't have to be shown that you are coming from any activity. So that will assist you, because if you come to me, you are wearing a particular t-shirt, even if it's recognized as a bigger t-shirt in that community, I might not give you business, because people are not going to come to work because of that. So the mindset matters a lot.
Thank you so much. I always say the business is like a cake. When you are baking a cake, you've got ingredients. You will put your eggs, you'll put your flour, you'll put your yeast, you put all those things for it to be a cake. So if you've registered to the database, maybe that's just your egg. You still have to go out there and get into those programs, get into those forums, put your sugar, put your flour, put all the ingredients that you need for the cake to be complete. Because if I were to walk into your kitchen and you are busy beating an egg, and I ask you what are you doing, What are you eating? Maybe you are even eating that egg. What are you eating? You won't say, I'm eating a cake, So Tina, we want to run our businesses as if just being on the database is enough. That's not, you still have to put all the other ingredients for it to become a cake. Because even with the cakes, when it's done, it has got to be balanced. You've got to do everything for it to be a cake that is tasty, Because sometimes you eat an egg, baking powder, No, that's not it. So if you don't put all your ingredients that are necessary for your business, if you don't belong to the forums, if you don't if you don't dress and be presentable to the business, if you don't, if you know all those things, they won't give you a cake,
My name is Fernando Faustino. I'm in the engineering sector and manufacturing sector. Okay, what I could say that my challenge is this. When you are in engineering sector, you have a challenge. You are competing with giants like Max Steel and bigger company, Laser Watt. So I've been a subcontract for most of big companies like ABB, PowerTech, Zest Group, and all that. I've been building a transformer for quite some time. But now when you go now, you have made your setup to apply in the government. They send a guy to assess, which also is a color. When he comes, he says, this is up to nothing. But you have been building transformer for these bigger companies that are working in different substations. I've also been building trains, parts for the 95 train. If you Google my company, I was part of the 95 trains that have been building. But when it comes for time to get a tender or something, then they don't consider you. If they give you the RFQ certain time because you are buying from the same suppliers that you are competing with, they hike the price so that you cannot make money. You go back for the government guys or for those states that to say that how can you help so that we can balance, because you cannot export steel from China or somewhere else, but we are in the same business with them. How can you assist? Or certain times because you are run short of money, it needs a capital so that you can deliver in time. You know you have the capacity, you have the machinery, you have the people that you can produce, but you are short of finance. They send it to IDC, all that, they want intending letters from these people, but they don't produce. When you come, you have lost the contract that you have. So, like now, I do train some students for EWC, on my own, that if it is, because I have the expertise, if I get some work, wherever that I can outsource. I got factories that are standing with machineries over millions of rands. That is there. But we tell that we don't have black engineers in the country that cannot do. I can do things for the mines, I can do things for ESCOM, I can do for trade, I can do structures and all that. But you come with my company's domain to work 3 days, 2 days, and if you go, you apply for tenders or whatever. I was applying for Kibela to be in their database. As a guy comes, I have machineries that maybe other white companies, they don't have, I have space and all. Then he comes there and says, no, this is not up to the quality. Then he just walks. But I've been working with ABB, PowerTech, ESCOM itself, they came to check. But when it's come for me to be direct subcontract, because I have 20 years of experience on my duty.
I see you are pitching already, Fernando.
Okay. I think that's going to be one of the recommendations, because it does affect a lot of businesses, the access to finance. We do have a lot of companies, agencies that are into that. And I would say sometimes it is your go-to market strategy. You need to do a lot of work as a business in terms of your go-to-market strategy, because once you've got your go-to-market strategy, that also shows us this is so much work that I've done. I've got so much experience. I've got so much the functionality. If the functionality is there, and they phone and you can prove that the functionality is there, and then if your only problem is the access to finance, we can go back to that whatever agency that you've asked for funding to find out what was the reason, and then they will give us the reason, and we'll sort that out. That's where the enterprise development comes in. We develop you and make sure that you meet all the requirements of that particular funder so that you can deliver to the supplier. We can always look into that.
Beautiful talk. Ladies and gentlemen, please can we just honor her with a round of applause again. Just to go back to her entry point, please, I just need to get my notebook. If you were here and you did not understand the song or the chant, I need to clarify, it's protocol. I know that we have a beautiful lady by the name of Jerry Lee that is here, and I feel that I owe her that much, because that is a powerful song, Ma. If it all is very inspirational. The song basically says, loosely, directly translated, that borrow me the hammer so that I can chip away laziness. In Bogoto, you can personify it, you can describe it however way you want. It could be a hammer, it could be a chipping tool, it could be literally a rock, anything. But the most fundamental is to chip away laziness. There's a few things that I'd like to just touch on before I call our next speaker. Umama Emily Mpohlele from the Department of Treasury. I just need to say a few things first before I ask her to come up. I like it when the Mohapa speaks, because he comes in as a disruptor. He is a hacker. He hacks in the conversations which steer. It's a good thing. It's a very good thing. We have a term called hackathon in the innovative space. You're looking for minds that will come in and they will just bring in that perspective that people didn't have. And he spoke on a fundamental for any young entrepreneur to be part of a business forum. Perhaps that is something we can look into at the later part of the day, not to disrupt the process currently, where we can regroup ourselves into forums, because we are always better as a unit than we are as individuals. So I think that's just a thought that you guys can perhaps take with you. I know a lot of you came together in groups. Make a formal business forum where you are able to engage each other on certain things. You can find that you can share the knowledge, and it will be helpful or beneficial to the collective. And then I also I noted
Mahala. Our government is doing something, guys. So to access that affidavit, you can just come there at my seat after this session. I will give you one. And then if maybe you're in a hurry, you can just go through a website, www.dti.gov.za. Then on the search tab, you can just write BEE affidavit. Then you'll get it. As simple as like that. Good. Second, the third thing I said, you need to have affidavit. You need to have bank account, company bank account. Thirdly, you need to have valid tax clearance certificate. Valid tax clearance certificate. The fourth thing, you need to have ID. Yeah, it's your personal information. Your ID, of course. And then, yeah, those documentation are just like when you register to any database, it's the same. Nothing has been changed. Good. So the challenges, we do have challenges, guys, because it's a new system. First challenge, when you register, I will just clarify only few challenges. Challenge number one. Someone will say, Mara, aus Emily, I have registered on the system, I put my banking details, but the system said it is invalid. Why? I keep on putting whatsoever my account number, but why? I've got an answer today. I think many people have realized that it is possible. Yes, I know. No, when you put your information, banking information. Be alert. Bank is very, very strict on that issue. You must put the information as they reflect on the bank statement. If they put a full stop, put a full stop. If they put open and close brackets, put as they are on the bank statement. If you can take chance and say, no, I know my company is Sunnyside Park Hotel, and then leave it like that. It will come back and say incorrect information, invalid information. If on the bank statement they said Sunnyside Park, open bracket, PTY Ltd, close bracket, yeah, just do it as it is, guys, because you'll be surprised. No matter, I put Sunnyside Park Hotel, PTY Ltd, but I don't know why. Account number is correct, and you'll become so frustrated. Just put it as it reflects on the bank statement. Even with caps, the system is so sensitive. When it comes to bank, it's very, very sensitive. Others, you can just do it as you wish, but bank, the bank, because I believe when they verify that information, it's not like somebody else is sitting at the corner and then, checking one by one. It's the system automation. Okay? So automation is so serious. So it will check. But when he first registered on this account, he said market research P2I Ltd. But now it's not. It's market research. It's not. It will reject automatically. Ne? And the second issue here, challenge, is tax matters. Yes. Most of the people, most suppliers will say, but I have captured my tax number correctly, and then what now? The system will come and say, no, invalid tax information. But why? This is my correct number. I've been using it 10 years ago, and then I'm still using it. It's fine. But when they verify SARS, when they verify your tax matters, they check your personal tax matters, IRP5s. Are they in order? They check your company tax matters. If one of those is not in order, the system will automatically give you that information, invalid information, incorrect information. It will comment somehow. Ne? So don't be surprised when you put the information. Tax clearance is okay, it's valid. Then you put the number there, but the answer from the system will say, no, invalid information, any comment, any funny comment. Then you'll have to go back to SARS and verify information, check your IRP, ask whoever consulting, please, I know you have given me a tax clearance which is valid to my sister or my brother, but please just check my personal tax matters if they are in order. Ne? You need to do that. Ne? Otherwise we'll keep on saying, but my tax is right, my tax is right. Ne? Business and then flows. Good. Only these two challenges, bank and tax. And then how do I register now? Registration, it has two phases. The first phase, you register your personal information by using a password. Okay? You create your own password, you register your profile, my name is whom, this is my address. After that, there is a boundary which you must just pass. After registering, you'll realize that you'll get an R number. Ne? It's a reference number. It's not a supplier registration number. It's just a reference number. Let us be clear on that. If you have registered your company and you have already got an R number, that is not the company supplier number. Ne? Your information is incomplete. Then, on that bridge, you'll realize that the system now is closing you out. Now it's like, I'm finished, and then what? You'll be frustrated, and then what now? Ne? But you know what? But if a person wants to hide the information, put it in writing. most of us, including myself, I have struggled before. It's not a joke. When you capture first phase, after that, then the system like it locks you out. Then you said, okay, I have completed, then I can go home. I do have an R number, this is my supply number. No, read there. Go back to the system. Read the information. It will say, go to your emails and update the information. It will just close and leave that message. And if you don't read that information, you will think, now I have the supplier number because now the system is just shut me out. Then I'm fine. No, you are not fine. Read that information and then open your emails. Open your emails. You'll find another message. Update your profile. Keep on reading. Keep on reading. Remember, there's no longer like someone will say, no, update this. You communicate with that system. It's digital, You and the system. Update, then you follow. Activate your account, then you follow, you activate. If you don't activate, it will get stuck again. Talk to each other. Activate your account. After activating, click OTP number. It's a process. The OTP number, you click the OTP number. Then the system will say again, check the OTP number on your phone. It's a little bit complex. It's not like the physical one whereby you register. This one is a little bit scary. Yeah, good. Then you activate your account. You have put your OTP number. Then after, the system will say, okay, now go back to the system. This is the second phase. Are we together? I'm trying to outline this process to be clear to everyone. It's not a difficult system. It's not. Second phase is whereby you will be allocated what we call a supplier number. This is the last stage. You'll get an M number. It's no longer an R. M number. After activating good from the email, you close the emails. Go back to the system. On the system, you'll find that you need to update your profile there. Your company details, tax matters, BE certificate, and everything. After updating, talk to the system again. Submit. At the bottom there, it will ask you, submit, my brother. Submit your information. Click on that tab, submit. If maybe that submit thing is a little bit shaded, meaning what? You'll keep on clicking, but this system is not saving my information. Why? It is shaded. Then read. Go back, read. Why, system, are you not taking my information? Then you'll realize that whatever you have captured, it is having some colors on the side. It's either green or red or orange. It's a robot. Then, if the information are correct and okay, it will show a green color. If you still have to complete that part of sector, it will show a orange or a red. Red is trouble. That means a lot of things have not been completed. Click that orange or a red button. Then you have to update whatsoever is missing. Then after you have done those things, go back down there, submit. You will realize that that submit tab is now brighter than before. It's not loaded, meaning that everything is fine. There's a process, I know. Click submit. Look at the system. At the top corner there, you will find an icon for printing, meaning you can print a certificate now. Happily like that. Click print, print a certificate, then match to whoever invites you for tenders. ask is, yeah, now on a certificate to tender, Aniti. Now you are a winning guy. Good one. Is how it is to register. It is a national research database. You need to be there. And then some other question, because I'm doing procurement wherever I'm coming from. Some guys they have said, no, but why are we not getting tenders? Because reading database. Ne? My sister Ubulegan to Singat, which is very correct. But why? I have been registered on the system. It is because the information that we have put on the system. No, it's wrong. Then, before I can just download that list, I will put municipality number, Ward 15, for example. It will give me a list of those companies from Ward 15, including yourself. And then that list, I will download it, I will put it together with my advert. It will go out like this. You'll find your name there. Not even marketing yourself. We will market it. We will market your business for you on your behalf. Good. So that means there is opportunity to tender even to those bigger companies. Daily challenges. Because where I'm coming from Treasury, Monday Terona, Treasury is money. Treasury is all about money. So money is from where? It's from you guys. It's from the public. So we want to make sure that that public funds, finances, will benefit you, black people, strategically through local content and production, enterprise development, supplier development, through buying from locally, those things, local companies. We need suppliers from local local suppliers like Kitchen, like Good. And then I think so now. I mean, big companies, but already tender already told Ganjani. No, they are forced to subcontract 30% from those small companies which are on the database. And then the other thing, what last? No, I will have to wait for questions. Thank you very much.
Once again, good afternoon. Okay, I'm registered in central database, but when I want to do business, let's say there is some tender from parastatals like ESCOM, Transnet. Also, they require you to be in to have their vendor number. So how do you go about? Because you think that you're in a central database, then you are able to do business with parastatal. But now, when you apply for the tenders, they want you to be in their vendor number, which is also not easy to get into it.
Would you like to just answer now or get all the questions and then answer collectively? Thank you.
Good day to everyone. Well, thank you for that question. You stole it from me. And two, I would like to know, as young people, I'm sure we must not always encourage tenderpreneurship, because we know these roads we are building will run up one day. We will not have tenders anymore. But now we need to assist young people to start up businesses. How does in fact, how much did the Treasury allocate for NYD specifically? Because we need we need more money in that department so that it can give each and every one of us here money to start up our own business, because we cannot wait and pray for tenders and go start forums, go fight, because forums, there is one thing you will do there, it's fighting. Believe me, there is nothing more, nothing less. And it's NYDA and ITC. How much did the government put in that department? And I think I like this CSD because it doesn't assist brothers and cousins. I hope it doesn't, in fact, because I don't know. Because Umsobov was closed, it never assisted us. It's a pity Tutu is no longer here. NYDA as well is not assisting us.
Just be cognizant that at 1:30, pretty soon, we're going to be heading off for lunch. So please try and be concise when you're asking your questions and straight to the point. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to ask, how do you differentiate between a fraudulent tender and an original one? And the second one is, how do you actually fill in the tender form, because there are some things that we actually don't understand there. And the third question is, if your BEE certificate has expired, are you able to get a tender? Thank you.
Nginibingelele bahlali. Ngitho wami umbuzo nje kancane. Ngizama ukuyidecolonize lendlu. Owami umbuzo mama la kimi u30% lo ama contract. If le 30% le youth yona ime kanjani in terms of ama percentage, or you only accommodate everybody kule 30% le? There is no category yokuthi these are women will get such percentage in this 30%, young people SMMEs they will get this amount of percentage. So wami umbuzo lo ukuthi ni categorize kanjani? Ngiyabonga.
Mine is just a suggestion that as young people, can we, as much as we want to be subcontractors, but I think there should be also incubators where they take you from like your CITP from grade 1 to maybe grade 7, because we do not see ourselves as only subcontractors, but one day to be main contractors. Thank you.
Okay, Ma, we've got 2 last questions. Can we go through them, or should you want to answer? Okay, thank you.
I would just like to support the question from this gentleman with regards to the application process. Is there any training or anything that you're offering as small businesses? Because it's a very strenuous process. It's very costly as well. And there's just a few things that we tend not to understand. We have applied for a few, and I've realized that we have things that they would ask from us. As a small business, you need a board resolution. They want your BEE commitment plan. They want your, if it's a joint venture, you need a BEE certificate as a joint venture. That's costly. And you need an agreement for the joint venture. You need someone to do that for you. We pay for all those things. So do you have a training in place that helps us as small businesses on the application? Things like grammar. They check your spacing, your punctuation, all those small things which normally would disqualify you. Thank you.
Thank you. And last question.
A question on the affidavit, BEE affidavit. Like sometimes when you fill it, they ask like the date. When you make the affidavit with the police, like does it expire? And then one more question, which I think it needs to be looked into, the issue of bank accounts. Like we, as SMEs, when we open our businesses, a bank account is one of the key things that is required. But the charges for that, because sometimes when you just have recently started your business, it might not be able to have an income on a monthly basis. And the charges, the red tapes that are put with regard to the bank charges. And also, I noticed that the banks, they don't even have any particular structure or help for these SMEs. Once you've opened your bank account, it's your own business and baby to deal with. Thank you.
Okay, Mama, can I just quickly give Baba, I think maybe he probably wants to just respond to some of, thank you.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tom, Thomas. I'm together with Emily Mpahlele, we are from the same department. Gauteng Provincial Treasury. So I just want to respond to some of the questions that have been posed. Then she will fill in the others. We are also looking at the time. It's already 1:30, then we need to be going for lunch for the time. So I'll try to be quick. The first one is, one of the questions was about the bank account. To say that there's an SME or QSE, you open an account. And at the time, you don't have business, meaning that you don't have money. I know that bank accounts cost around 500, etc. So, you know, the CSD system is a new system. It started around 2014, 2015. Now, when you register on the system, there are two options there, where you are allowed to register when you have a bank account and when you don't have a bank account. There are two options. So if we're not busy, I'm not going to explain, the procedure, it will take long. But what I'm trying to say, when you are busy capturing the information, there is a button where you can press that at the time you don't have the bank account. Then you can proceed with the registration. The only thing that you won't get is that MAAA number. But at least you'll be existing on the system and that possibility of getting a business is there. But although we don't encourage it, but at the same time, we are aware of the fact that people don't have money. Hence, I'm saying, when it started, it was a 100% requirement to say you must have a bank account. But later on, they have upgraded it to say that even if you don't have, you can register. Then you get an R number. And then the second question was about the affidavit. Someone wanted to know, when you submit, say there has been a request for a tender. Say a tender is closing tomorrow, which is Friday, the 2nd of March. Among the documents that you are attaching to the tender document is one is a affidavit, and the affidavit has expired. It will mean that you know what is going to happen is that the tender will not be completely, put aside or disqualified. The only thing that will happen is that for the sake of preferential procurement, BBE issues, it will not be considered. So the person is not going to benefit from being, say, black, women, youth, etc. But it will still go through all the other processes, like functionality, like the prices and all that. But for the affidavit, it will not be disqualified. Am I clear, people? I don't know. Yeah, but it will still go on. And then the other one was about the affidavit. I don't know if I got the question correctly, but what it happens is that affidavit is valid for 1 year. If you do it today, it means it will expire next year. That is yesterday on the 1st. So it's a period of 12 months. So if I go to the police station, original affidavit is my signature of the owner of company and the policeman or any commissioner will be doing that. If you submit the ESA request for a tender and then you submit, I don't have to go make copies and then submit that copy because it will be invalid. I make copies and then go to the police station for a new stamp. You get what I mean? The commissioner stamp. Is then that it will be said to be valid. So the other one was that about incubation for small businesses. What is happening now is that the Gauteng Provincial Treasury has an agreement with a certain private companies called SASDEC. What they are doing there is that they get a database from Treasury. There's some, say, 100 companies. They train companies and then they try to get businesses for those people and all that. Enterprise development, supply development. So there is that kind of incubation. There is also another one with FNP Bank. Okay? And then the other one was about the I don't know if I got the question correctly, but it was about the tender forms. Yeah. Where somebody wanted to know how do you go about filling in the tender forms. Did I get it correctly? You want to know about the tender form. You know the tender form, there are so many forms. It's from page 1 until around page 50, or even more than that. No? So what is happening is that at Provincial Treasury in Corner Fox in Sour Street, every Wednesday there is a session that is being provided from 10 a.m. to plus minus 1 o'clock, where someone will be going through all the from page 1 until the last page, just to show how this thing is being done. It's every Wednesday. You don't have to phone in to make appointment. It's free. You just come in, you sign the register, and then it is being provided. And then what happens is that there is a program. It takes about 5 weeks. The first one, they will provide, say, this topic. The following Wednesday is another topic. Say, this week is about tax. The following one will be about UIF, just like that. Okay? And then, ladies and gentlemen, I know that she has been explaining about the process of registering. You know, the process is so complicated. So what I'll suggest is that let us give you our contact numbers. And then thereafter, if there is any follow-up can be made. Because now if we are going to try to explain it even in details, we're going to be here for the whole day. So I'll give you my contact. My contact is 011689. Okay. No, let me start with the cell number. You know the 011, most of the time you are not there, so it won't work at all. 082 663 8520 8520. I'll repeat 082 663 8520. Okay, and then she'll also give you a number. Hello? My name is Thomas Munanyana. Is my surname. Okay. Okay, thanks, ladies. She can respond to the other remaining questions.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now we have left with 3 questions. It is clear, no? The first one is about ESCOM tenders. Unfortunately, Central Supply Database arona I buika di parastatals. Ne? Ge ile gore bana le this, bana le another way ya gore ba kgone o achieve their own targets because bana le their own thing internally they want to achieve. Ne? So, ya go bona, go to them, they will give you their own database because they have their own things internally to achieve. Ne? So you better go straight to them. The other one involves NYDA budget. Ne? Unfortunately, I can't help all the numbers on my mind. So the best thing, because we do have a sister from NYDA, then you can just consult how much have you been given. Ne? Good. The last one is about fraudulent tenders. How will I notice this is a fraudulent tender advert or not? It is simple. We have realized that now people are taking chances, but they can't manipulate our email address. Ne? You will check on that tender advert the email address. You'll realize that on the email address, because like today I'm here, you know my name, you know my surname, you can just do any fraudulent matters. And then they'll put Emily.Mpahlele at Gauteng .org organization.za. Then you'll realize, no man, it's Department of Treasury and Organization. No, it can be. then you'll check my email address, emily.mpatlele@gauteng.government.gov, not organization.za. Ne? Be very careful. They won't say emily.mpatlele@gauteng.gov. It will come to me. There's no way. Ne? This is the first step to check. Secondly, you need to check who advertised that tender. Go to that department to verify that information. I nearly forgot about this 30% subcontracting. Brother man, 30% means we will procure from youth-owned companies. Ne? There is a list of categories. First one, we procure 30% from youth-owned companies. Second one, 30% from small companies, SMME. Thirdly, 30% from black-owned companies. If you don't win on the youth side, you might win on the as a small company. If you don't win that, you can just win as a youth. So tender, it can be advertising 30% only on youth-owned, or 30% from SMME, you are still small company, or 30% from black, only black, anyone, youth or old, black-owned companies, or 30% subcontracting from SME. Ne? Are you clear? Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, yes. Thank you very much for honoring her. Also, just to go through Ndate Thomas's, can I just give you quickly Ndate Thomas's email address? It's moitlamo, MOITLAMO dot Monanyana, MONNANYANA at gauteng.gov.za. Thank you very much. I'm just going to give over to Ndate Tello to just give us our expectations for the latter part of the day. Thank you.
Yes. How has it been so far? You are too hungry, you guys. That response. Try it again. How has it been thus far? Yeah, I think the presenters were good. So I will guess so because you are saying so. Okay. Unfortunately, I missed the main hall presentations, but it was not intentional. I was with the unemployed youth, and I think we had a good time with Harambee as well on the other side. From now, what is going to happen is that we're going to go for lunch 1 hour, and then we are going to come back here at quarter to 3. We'll be Kibua kanako. Am I harbaleng 1 hour? I thought so. No, I'm still awake, okay? Yes. So we're back here quarter to 3 again. 1 hour. No, I'm being considerate. There are a lot of logistics that you're still going to have to work through, okay? But let's all from here go straight to lunch so that at least by quarter to 3, we are seated back here. So this is a working day. It's a working afternoon. So you saw the program. We are busy. But it's in Red Bull. Just me advice. So if you want to take your Red Bull, but you know, I told you, leave the energy drink. Drink lots and lots of water, okay? Fine, so we're going to do that. Then when we come back, we'll be having a business model canvas and also start preparing in terms of our pitching and all that. So when I was with the unemployed group, I said to them, in here you would have met your partner, your business partner, either your client or your supplier, if you networked well, okay? So I expect that when we come back, as we are doing that business model canvas, you'd almost target that person that we said you must target in the morning. Work with them if you want to look at a new business or you want to continue with your business. Yes, you'll be on your own and so on. But with us, we have other knowledgeable people that will also assist us on the technical sessions and stuff. So you are still going to, you'll be informed when you converge back to say, how are we going to do it, so that we are able to make sure that everybody has been given enough chance so that tomorrow, when you come and pitch your business, at least you know even what the score sheet is about. So the score sheet is not a surprise. This afternoon we'll also tell you exactly what are the 5 top questions so that you are able to that transition from the business model canvas to the answering questions. For instance, when we do our elevator pitch later this afternoon, as we are shortlisting our 60, it's a 1 minute elevator pitch, okay? So it's really a serious one. So do your best there. That's it. You'll have the information. So tomorrow maybe you'll have a bit more minutes. I don't want to say that because the judges haven't told me how much time they'll allot you tomorrow. So, but prepare yourself. Let's take it take the best out of it, okay? Now, solicitors, kids are pitching. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Please go to lunch. We'll meet at quarter to 3. Okay, these are the instructions.
Okay, so we have 2 food stations. We have 2 food stations. So if this side is too packed for you, you can, when you come out, the second door at the back there, we have a coordinator that will take you to the next station. Also, moms, do we have the registration table is still up? Moms? If anybody has not registered yet, please, as a matter of coordination, can you kindly go to the registration table and have yourselves registered? Nah? Thank you very much, guys.